Hi beautiful people, welcome to Kate Space, welcome to my channel. I'm Kate from Pixie Designs and I've popped my camera on as we continue with this journal that I'm making. Now this is for Raindrop Lila, it's a guest design team project for her and I'm using Cornelia's Garden digitals at the moment, mostly the backgrounds and the wallpapers. So I've been through, I'll link the video below, but I've decided I am going to go ahead with this pocket. So this is printed on Southworth linen paper. It's about 110 GSM I think, so it's quite sturdy. And so it should make a pretty, like strong pocket. It's not really super 80 GSM or 90 GSM paper. So I'm going to glue that on. I've made the little gussets at the side but not at the bottom, so it just gives the pocket a little bit more room. And what I really want to do, I think, is put some book page behind here. So I go and I'm getting some plain book page from, I've got a collection of just vintage and antique book pages in a drawer, and I'm just going to slip that behind there, just create another layer and another bit of texture. I'm just going to crinkle it up and I'm going to attach that to that pocket before I glue it onto that page. Yeah, so I'll just speed this little bit up. So now that pocket is strengthened and just has a bit more texture to it, and I'm much happier with it. And here I am just still not gluing it down, still faffing around, wondering whether maybe I need something else along here, some lace, some textile, or something of that kind. I have a little play around with some textiles, but then I pretty much decide that I'll do the textiles and lace and things like that in a different video. I think I will pop something there, but I just really am not sure what. And as you can see, I'm just sort of really toying with the idea of that lace, but I also think I might make that lace into a pocket, so I'm really not sure. So I'm grabbing a few things off my desk and from behind me on my sewing desk behind me and sort of having a look to see if they'll be any good. So I try the braid. That is a lovely braid that Barb gave me in a Happy Mail, and then I grab this lace, and then I'm kind of looking at another lace, and then I'm looking at some sari silk ribbon that I've got out, because I've got the blues and sort of greens and reds and oranges in that wallpaper, and I'm just wondering what colour do I really want to highlight. I have this kind of ombre sari silk that I bought a while ago, and I really want to use that, and I actually really like the way it looks with this wallpaper. So I go take that to my sewing machine and sew it into a sort of a ruffle there with the lace, layered lace and sari silk ribbon, and I really don't know if I like that at all, so I actually end up just putting that aside and gluing the pocket on. So yeah, it's definitely time to commit, so I go about gluing this reinforced old book page onto the page first. So that goes first, and I then sew down there with my machine, because I decided I want to do a little bit of sewing, and the best time to do that obviously is before the signatures go into a cover or sewn in anywhere. So that's me sitting and looking and deciding what I'm going to do. But yeah, then that thing, the lace thing comes back out, and I had a look at that again. Yeah, so on and on it goes, but I do end up actually finishing this page to a certain point. I sew that page just down the right hand side edge, and then I attach the pocket. Right, back from the sewing machine, I'm just pressing down the paper at the back where the needle punches through the paper and raises it. I think my machine has a little bit of a tension problem. I'm not completely happy with the tension. I've had a little play with it, but I haven't managed to get it as perfect as I would like. It is an old machine and it's really a workhorse. It does so well. Very basic, but it works well. So I don't know, I just need to maybe have a little bit more of a play with the tension. So that is the front page done, and I think it will have more added to it, but I just am not sure what. The next thing I decide to do is commit to this wallpaper border as a tuck spot. So I'm gonna pop that right there. I'm still thinking about it. You can see, like, should I? So yeah, I'm really trying to just go through and glue these things down where I put them. You know, there probably is always a better place to put something, or a way to make it look better, but honestly, nothing would ever get done in my studio or craft room if I waited until the page was perfect. So I really love this piece of wallpaper, and it makes a great tuck spot. It's really firm. It will take something slipping in and out of it really well. So I decide, yep, that's going to go there. I love the colors, and yeah, I think it works in this journal. So yep, really happy that I actually get 2 things done already. I've edited out quite a lot, so believe me, this took longer, much longer than what you're experiencing. So thank goodness for editing, right? So yeah, now I'm just having a flip through. Let's see what we're going to do next. This envelope, avocado dyed envelope with this wallpaper wrapped around it, does give me a little bit of trouble. It takes me a while to decide what I'm going to do with this, like everything. But yeah, I don't know, I do want to add something a little bit more to this, maybe a closure or something like that. So that's what I'm thinking about right there. So yeah, I have a look at this little lace under here, and I wonder if that would look cute, but then I realised you don't really see all of that beautiful trim, and I don't want to hide it behind there. So I think, oh, maybe I don't want to use that. I'm sort of really just stuck on that page. So I decide, true to form, to flick onto something else. I'm pretty set on this up tuck, this tuck spot here that I've made using some girl's own paper from 1800, which I've reinforced so that it's strong enough to use as a tuck spot. It's just too wide. I was planning to use it in the center of a center of a signature where it's stitched in, so it went across 2 pages, but that didn't work out. So here I am just thinking, what am I going to do? And I end up going to my cutter and just cutting it down. I actually don't even think that it's got gussets. I think I glue it down. Yeah, I do. I just glue it down as is, just so it's nice and firm and tight, so that if I tuck anything up in there, it's not going to just constantly fall out. So there we go. I make another decision. What's that? Page number 3. Wow. We're getting there. But yeah, it's not a perfect process. I hope you don't mind me sharing it with you. Some of you asked for this, so yeah, this is not what I do every time, and in fact this is probably more thought out than normal because I am videoing it. But anyway, let's get on. So yep, I skipped past that dust jacket that I've using as a page, and we get to this page. Again, I spend quite a lot of time looking at it, thinking, do I want to use it as a tuck? Do I like it there? And in the end, I do glue it down as a tuck spot, and I tuck it under that beautiful rag paper because I love it. I love the rag paper, and I kind of like the roses that are sticking out from underneath. So yep, I'm really happy with it, but obviously I'm looking there to see if I want it on top or not. But yeah, no, I'd end up putting it underneath, and I really like how that looks, so that's what I end up doing. I don't know why I haven't glued the side. Oh, I obviously did decide to do that afterwards. There we go. So there we are. I'm gluing down that side bit, and yeah, that's another sort of place to tuck something. There's going to be really lots of places to tuck things in this journal, because I really wanted to use Lydia's papers for that purpose on the beautiful old pages, and I really like how they're looking. So yeah, there you go, something big will be able to tuck behind there. So yeah, like that big envelope, which I actually really like, so you never know, that might end up being there. Okay, the next page, I have this lovely image from the kit that I want to put on top of this coffee dyed sketchbook paper that's folded over. So I tear the bottom off because that's tucked right down underneath and folded up, and then I add that to the tuck, to the folded up bit of the coffee dyed paper. Really, really love how that looks. We've got this white showing, and first I go to cut it off, but then I decide, oh no, I actually think I'm going to wrap it around from the front round to the back. And so that's actually what I end up doing. Yeah, so I've folded it over and then I tuck it back in, and then as you can see I've folded it so when you open it out you've still got a little bit of that paper showing, just a tiny strip, but it seemed a waste to just cut it off, so I left it on. Anyway, I love how that actually ends up looking. I love that image. It's just very beautiful, and I love the florals. So yeah, that's how that ends up looking. I think at this stage I get some ink out and just ink around some edges, and then I go about just attaching that, gluing it down, and yeah, I end up feeling really happy about that page. So I use my glue stick after I've inked it, to glue that little piece down on the little pocket, and I don't know whether I'll glue that pocket shut or not. And what do? Do I tuck? Yeah, I just tuck it under, so that is not actually glued shut at this point. So there's that, and then I go about gluing the rest of that big piece down. I make sure it's tucked right down because I don't want to actually see the bright white shining through the holes at the top of that page. So yeah, I use my glue stick there just to glue that little edge down, make sure that it's really well glued down and that white is not poking up at the top, at the back there, and it is. So I think I actually end up pushing it down a little bit further, but then I actually leave that open. I do. Okay, so that's a tuck spot as well, but it could be changed in the future. So this page, I love brown paper, and I love this really old paper bag that I've used, but yeah, I'm really struggling with how this looks. Again, I want to use this beautiful image, and I just decide, I'm going to straighten up the fold in this because it's a bit cattywampus. So sort that out and get my art glitter glue and start by just running some down where the fold's going to be, where the signature's going, where that page is going to be sewn in, and glue that digital image onto the brown paper. So trying to get that straight and in the right place before the glue dries. And yeah, I do really love the image and I love the brown paper, but again, I'm not totally happy with this page. But it's early days. We're really only just starting to decorate, so things can be swapped out or changed, or anything can happen between now and sewing in the signatures, so it's no stress really. Here I am again with that snippet. I've tried it on every single page so far. I just need to put it away. Anyway, let's get on to the next page. So this is the next page, and this is the center of the signature or the book, and I decide I just want to take that rough edge off the left hand side of that book page. So I go to my cutter and I do that, and then I'm looking to see how I want this to go. I am pretty sure I want to make the left hand side a pocket, and then the right hand side will open like a page. So here I am, I've turned that piece of very old music paper around. Now that's reinforced on both sides because I really don't want it to break. and I wonder, do I want it to be this way round? And yeah, so I'm just experimenting. That's going to be the pocket side. But then I think I decide I don't want the white braille paper next to the plain paper, so I decide to have it this way round as original. And also this way around, because I don't know if you can see on the video, but there's a little bit of handwritten music down on that right hand side, and I actually don't want to cover that up. I know that's a kind of a bit of a quirky thing, but I don't know, I'm not going to rub it off, I'm not going to erase it, and I'm not going to cover it up because I really like it. So this is the next page that I actually glue down. So again, another image from Lydia's kit, and yeah, I do a little bit of inking on here, and then I just go about gluing it down. Once I've done that, I flip over to this page. Now this is sort of the mirror image of the one at the beginning. So yeah, I decide that I'm going to glue this piece on basically the same as the one on the other side. It needs cutting down, and then I just glue it down each side and it becomes a tuck spot. Then I come to this little tuck spot that I put together ages ago when I was first started making the journal. Now this little piece on the top is actually a piece of very old music score cover that was so damaged, and this is really the only piece that I could salvage, but it's just so pretty. But I decide that I want to actually check out some of my other embossed papers. Now these embossed papers are some that I spent just a little morning sort of prepping, so I've embossed them and then used some paint and ink and things on them just to give them a little bit more texture. I think I end up using this one. I just prefer it to whatever I had under there before, and the brown paper is part of the record cover. I take it to my sewing machine and I sew down the right hand side and across the bottom, and then I basically just glue it on, and that becomes a tuck spot. I was just deciding there whether I wanted it to be a triple tuck spot, but decide that the brown paper's just not strong enough, so I glue that down to the embossed paper, which is a lovely strong handmade paper, and then I glue it down. So the little wild rose picture is a little tuck spot, and then the main piece is also a tuck spot as well. Now this piece of paper fell out when I was flicking through and moving the pages around, and so I had to look on my video from last time to see where it went. So I'm just giving this a little bit of an ink and sort of crinkling it up and making it a little bit look old. I really love these invoices with the flowers on them that these digital artists make. I think they're really pretty. And so yeah, I'm going to glue this on towards the center. Oh look, there's that snippet again. Oh my gosh, I have literally tried that out on every single page. I've actually cut some of it out because it was getting embarrassing. Okay, so yeah, the art glitter glue, we glue this down, and yeah, there's another tuck spot ready to go. Okay, so I'm back to the center signature, and I'm just having a little play with some lace, whether I wanted to sort of wrap this around. Like I said, the left hand side ends up being a sort of a full page pocket, and I'm playing around with this old paper strip as well. But in the end, I decide it's going to be strong enough as it is, and I just basically glue that page down on the top and the bottom to create a pocket, and also down the center to attach it to the spine bit, or just to the left, I think, because I end up making it so I don't think I will sew through that rose picture. I think I actually pull it away slightly from the center. I can't remember now. Yeah, I think it is. So that's that page done as well. So I'm flicking through the pages, having a look, just seeing what I've done, what there is to do, contemplating life in general, wondering if the journal's ever going to be finished. I come to this little spot and I'm quite uncertain about this one, so I just decide to paperclip it in place after sort of looking at it. And yep, there's that tuck spot that's open. Now this page where I've printed on the music paper, I decide to just reinforce that with some of that old paper from the ribbon that I was talking about earlier, and so I just glue stick that on and sort of stick it on well, but just so it looks a bit wrinkled and rough. I really like that look, and so that just gives that crease there some strength and stability when I go to sew it in. So yeah, that's that job done as well. And that's pretty much it for this video. I am pretty pleased with what I've done. I am struggling with that little area there, so that will be the next video, trying to settle on that. But yeah, I'm really happy. It's starting to come together, I think. I'd love to know what you think. So yeah, I've got this little document that I've got folded up there, and I'm thinking, oh, that might look really nice tucked behind those tuck spots. So I think that's probably what will end up happening. Well, who knows? It's a mystery what will end up happening. But it's a beautiful document. It's French or maybe Italian. I can't remember just right now while I'm sitting here doing this voiceover. But yeah, that's going to tuck into the journal somewhere. I don't think I'm going to make it into a page. Oh, and there we go. There's our snippet. One last show of that thing. Imagine if I don't end up using it in the journal, which is actually quite likely. Anyway, I hope you guys are all well. Thank you so much for watching today, and I really appreciate it. I hope you got something out of this video, and I hope you're happy and crafting. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today, and I'll see you again soon in the next video. Bye!